This year marks 15 years since I first moved to Ensenada, Baja, Mexico. I didn't come here on vacation. I certainly didn't come looking to start a massage or a tours business. I came with some professional burnout, a health problem, and a relationship rupture. And I've been able to find a lot of adventure, relaxation, and better life in those 15 years. I want to take this time to share a little bit of my personal story and offer the background on a lot of questions that people ask me about living here. So this is not a sales pitch or information about the businesses. I want to give kind of more of an honest feedback on my story, how I arrived here, and some of the honest challenges and bumps along the road in my life, as there are everywhere. So this is probably helpful for people who are cruising to Mexico, to Ensenada, who want to understand what it might be like living there, building a life here. Folks who are traveling down to Ensenada, the Valle de Guadalupe in Baja. And maybe anybody who's interested in living in Mexico, particularly Ensenada, whether coming down to build a life like we're all doing, and I was particularly in the process of doing at that age, about 30, or coming at a later stage to enjoy the later half, the golden years of life. But before I came to Ensenada, I first arrived in La Misión, just north of Ensenada. And I came here just a couple years after my graduate degree at UC San Diego. And I had been living in Guatemala doing some work there, direct related to my degree in economics, on my course to be what I thought would be an international economic consultant. That was my vision, that was my dream, the best idea, and I had to put together a life and a career. Of course, this was about 16 years ago that I came to La Misión, and it was during the Great Recession. If you remember that one, it was pretty long. There weren't a lot of jobs floating around. I was still fresh out of grad school a couple of years. So I came down to Baja from San Diego, came back from Guatemala, finished up the academic research, got the paper submitted, eventually was published. It takes forever for those things. And was kind of biding my time for the next big contract so I could travel to Peru or Central America, Latin America for my next contract as an economist. And Baja was very convenient since it was close to San Diego and lower cost of living. I'd already gotten used to Guatemala, so it was a very easy transition. And so we moved across the border with my partner at the time and our little Chihuahua dog that we had. So being in Baja was great. However, after a year or so and riding out the recession, some things changed in my life. My partner saw that the relationship was not a good fit for her. So she went on her way. So I was suffering from a relationship change. I guess I would say I was kind of brokenhearted. It was like a 3.5, 4-year connection. And at that time, I was probably emotionally dependent and pretty broken up about it. About that same time, we had been fostering this dog. I figured, hey, I'm hanging out in Ensenada and we got time. I'm just working on my computer. I can do a dog foster, and I like dogs. So we took in a dog, and eventually it was ready to go to its adoptive home. That amazing adoptive home was not so amazing. So they told me some very bad things about the dog that I'd grown to care about, and sent it back to us. I accepted the dog Tina and it became my dog. So I was in Baja with a ended relationship and a new dog, boxer pit bull mix. Not exactly the most convenient for international life of travel consulting, but that's how life goes. And within a month later, I discovered that I had a medical situation. I had a cancerous tumor. I had testicular cancer. So upon discovering that, I needed to take care of the situation quickly. So I had the tumor removed. And there I was, without a partner, with a new dog, and a post-tumor removal in La Misión. So without any amazing job prospects on the horizon, I needed some social connection and a place to recover physically and emotionally from the changes in the relationship, and semi-stressful consulting life as well. One where the feedback is very slow. Sometimes the paychecks come months after the work is done, and layers of management and bureaucracy where sometimes you write a report and it gets read a couple months later, or a paper that's published a year later. So feeling all those things together, I needed a place to recover, and Ensenada was just down the road, further south of La Misión. And I saw it as a place where there was a real town and people, and I could become socially integrated, go to coffee shops, and spend time with Tina and make sure my health was solid and recover emotionally from all that stuff. I did have family nearby in Southern California, in San Diego, and a few friends up in San Diego. So I wasn't totally isolated, but I chose to go further south into Ensenada, into Baja, rather than return back to San Diego, where I also recognized that in a low employment situation, I would be more financially strained, so to say. So coming to Ensenada was a real shift for me. Being on my own with a new dog, recovering from the cancerous tumor, a relationship break, and some, a little bit of emotional disappointment that my career wasn't taking off. Recessions are tough times when you can't find meaningful work and exercise your degree. And I did have some graduate school debt that I was excited to pay off. I would like to say that I spun the globe and picked the perfect place in the world or in Mexico. But I actually just picked the place that worked for me. And I think that eventually I adapted to it, and also found that it fit me pretty well. Ensenada is, I would say, a working town. It's a small Mexican town, or a large town, small city, but it's not Tijuana, it's not Mexicali, it's not megalopolis, and it's far enough from the border to really feel like a foreign place. I love Rosarito too, but it has a lot of influence from the border. So being there in Ensenada, I felt pretty comfortable, having lived in Guatemala before. And it surprised me that I began to know people within a few weeks. I saw people on the street that I knew. In that sense, Ensenada is a small town that you get to know people pretty quickly. And I moved into very near to the center of Ensenada, where I've lived most of my time there. I didn't move out to the expat communities that are wonderfully placed further south on the beach in Punta Banda, with beautiful views and beautiful beaches. I chose to be in the town because at that age, about 30, I was really looking to be socially integrated with other stuff happening, coffee shops. I was super excited to get to know people and be around town. The expat community was a little bit more outside of town, different demographics. So I immediately came into town and started to live life there. It was very helpful also that I was close to medical care in case anything would come up. And it felt like a real city. There was things around to do. Previously in La Misión and some of the rural places, there weren't even movie theaters and such. So I was able to start living life with Tina, take care of myself, and with a good health routine, and try and meet folks. I immediately started some salsa dancing classes, which was pretty exciting for me since moving around all the time for school and work, I hadn't been able to really get a consistent dance classes in. And I really needed that since, being from Wisconsin in the U.S., I didn't grow up with the Latino rhythms. I didn't have that feeling and rhythm in my body. So it was a little bit of a process to indoctrinate that. Having said that, I like and love the blues and have no problem dancing to that since I know my body knows that rhythm. But the Latino rhythms were a little more challenging. And it was great to meet people too, because I like to meet people, be social. And throughout my 30s, knowing people and dating was just an important part of that phase of my life. And I will say, I've also looked around and I know that Cabo is beautiful and amazing beaches and other places, but Ensenada fits me. When you drive in, you do smell the strong aromas of the sardine factory. And some of the streets have potholes and things seem very informal sometimes. But this is very similar to where I grew up in southern Wisconsin in the sense that things aren't polished, things aren't perfect. But people are warm and caring. And you're able to feel like you can live your life freely and not be overly, monitored or feel like you're in a fast place, slick city where everybody else is, on some kind of a fast track. So that stuff felt really great to me. Over the time, definitely my life has evolved living there. I came as an economist and eventually changed my profession. I really got to have amazing friendships. I came to Ensenada with Tina. Eventually also got Lola, who's over here. Hey Lola! Lola's with me now. And I also built a couple of really close teams that I work with that became friends for me. And once I found that life became comfortable, I just kept building organically. When I initially came to Ensenada, I tried to continue as an economist. I taught at SETI's University. I lectured to their undergraduates. It was the fourth year of their bilingual business degree. I got to do business negotiations, foreign market entry, really great topics. And although I think I was close to bilingual at that time, they had been teaching English since it was a bilingual program. And that was a great experience and way to extend my identity as an economist and traveling guy with a business card and a consultant. I also recognized that with the time I was really needing to feel better. I'm a chronically type A anxious person, I think, and it is something I struggled with in my 20s. Saw a therapist a couple of times, and briefly I did try some medication to control anxiety. So that was a theme in my life, and I found that giving and receiving human touch, massage in particular, was extraordinarily calming for my nervous system. I guess you would say healing. So I found an opportunity where I could take massage classes and began to do relaxation and therapeutic massage in my spare time. Remember, there was the recession. It was pretty long, and I had spare time. So I took that as an opportunity to do something that felt great for me, and I could start practicing. Growing up in Wisconsin, I feel like I somehow had the family culture of working and paying the bills, and I needed to be doing some kind of activity that would move towards that. So the massage became something that was personally very healing for me to receive, and I've gotten a lot of massage and I continue. And also to give. The human touch really calms my mind and allows me to stay centered and put my attention on one place. So that was an amazing transition for me from a consultant, a business guy with a business card, and identifying myself as that, to essentially a massage therapist in Ensenada. Eventually, I gave up that identity as the economist, the consulting guy, and moved towards being a massage guy. That was a psychological reshift. And part of the reason I stayed and enjoyed that was because I was able to start controlling things in my life. I'd been in a consulting environment where I'm under fluorescent lights at a desk for 8 to 10 hours a day. Even when there's no work, you got to stay there at the desk. And it was an amazing experience in Washington, D.C. and other places where I had a chance to do that. Crunching numbers with PhD economists and writing reports and numbers. It was very exciting at the time, but I recognized it wasn't maybe the healthiest that I could have been for myself. So that transition to where I could really control a lot of aspects of my life, my time, and work harder to earn more, or work less to earn less, was a big shift for me. I will say though that during this time, there were a lot of frustrations or challenges. And they weren't so much around the bureaucracy of Mexico. They were the real things of life that, looking back, I think any person deals with. Socially, feeling connected to friends, communicating a second language, there was definitely a hurdle there. I would say I came to Ensenada fluent in Spanish for an office setting where others had gone through university, used proper grammar, spoke in complete sentences. But then when you get in a social environment, after a salsa class, or people are having drinks, or around a carne asada, everybody's making jokes, 4 or 5 people talking at one time. I didn't get any of the jokes and felt very disconnected. That was a little rough, as well as the dating situation. Not the attraction, but the understanding of communication and what folks look for, what partners will look for in a dating. Each person, each culture has rules, unwritten rules, things that people can articulate about assumptions about what a relationship should be like and where it should go and how fast. And I ran into definitely some of that. So sure, there were heartbreaks along the way, and some lonely times as well when I couldn't find the friends and social connections. Perhaps also in my 30s, looking back, I would have loved to have had, I was super into the educational growth and exposing myself to arts and culture. And Ensenada didn't have as many things as maybe a capital city like, of course, Washington, D.C., but also a bigger metropolitan area like Tijuana or San Diego in terms of specialized education and classes. But I will say, I like to say that Ensenada has everything I need for a quality life. Some of it's hidden, and you have to look for it in networks of people. For example, at that time, there definitely was not acro yoga, any specialized or hot yoga. There might be now, but there's definitely yoga around. And through the years, I also found that there were meditation groups, other spiritual practice groups that I could grow in that part of my life as well. And there is also a lot of great live music in Ensenada, a lot of wonderful musicians. However, it's not quite as well advertised and organized. You got to search around and find it. During this time, I also had a lot of alone time to, I would say, just be me. One of the big opportunities or benefits that I had was being away from daily contact with a peer group. I didn't feel the social pressure that I think is human to be the same, to have the same thing as somebody else, the same job title, the same income, the same relationship, the same car. Because I was physically around in a different environment, and I wasn't around my peer group of graduate school graduates or folks that were advancing in their careers with job titles. I was really able to focus on my internal health and in some ways my spiritual growth. I also took time to work on my harmonica skills, my salsa dancing skills. I think this was important for me to be more of myself and have time to explore other parts of life besides just work. And then the work part, that came along. I don't know if it was, my hustle as a person, my need to, pay the bills, but the massage became something I really enjoyed, so I just kept doing it and trying to get better at it. I ended up stopping the teaching at SETI's, the university teaching, since at that time it was a little bit of a conflict with the evening massages I was doing for therapeutic massages for local Mexicans in Ensenada and expats as well. And that led into offering more couples massage, and then I discovered that tourism was great because people could really connect and appreciate massage therapy. The other teams kind of evolved out of, once I would say that my first step was to feel better about myself and good in my body. And that was Ensenada massage, for sure. And then clearly I have some kind of a love for travel and adventure. So when I got more of that taken care of and personally settled, and that was a process of, 4 or 5 years. When I was able to travel more, and I did take a cruise, and I was able to see Ensenada from the perspective of cruisers on the cruise ships, since we have an amazing cruise port. A lot of folks come and enjoy Baja and Ensenada that way. Seeing how much Ensenada is closed off without local knowledge of transportation, and planning a day is a little bit difficult if you don't know how much about local logistics and adventures. And I think that's true for anywhere, especially Ensenada at that time, and still is, since a lot of stuff isn't on the internet. The information is in local networks of people and Facebook groups. So having a way to get to that was something that the tours group could offer. So eventually Ensenada massage and Ensenada excursions came out of my living and working. So I think those were really some of the important things about my first years in Ensenada. And I will say that I'm very happy with the way my life went. Who knows how it would have been some other place. And I know a lot of folks don't stay in Ensenada. They come, whether it's digital nomads, they may be looking for something else. Maybe they don't find a way to overcome the need for social connection in life, or they're not able to find a way to take care of the money parts that we all need to do. But I did stay, and it has been a tremendous journey for me. I want to make a few more videos after this one. It might be getting long here, but I want to talk about some of the other things that are going to happen here. Other topics I'd like to cover in the future. I think some of the other topics that I want to dig into in future videos is really get into the nuts and bolts of the challenges of living here and how my life changed. That includes work stuff, as well as getting into questions about having a stable home, property. Talking about safety, that's something that a lot of folks ask me about. I also want to make these videos because people ask me the similar questions. How did you come to Ensenada? Why did you stay in Ensenada? Do you love it? Is it safe? Do you recommend living there? Because I also understand living abroad and in Mexico is a tremendous dream for many people and for any part of their life. So if I can offer any insights on that, that's amazing. And I love to help people enjoy Ensenada, Mexico, and life. So please feel free to, pay attention to some future emails. I am going to commit to making several of these videos. I know they're quite long, but it really will give some authentic feedback to people who are considering coming to Ensenada on a cruise or a Valle de Guadalupe weekend, who are worried about safety, or even wanting to live here for a short time or find retirement here. I also love to talk about my dogs and the travels I've taken around Mexico and how Ensenada compares to other places that I've been. And of course, everything I say is just filtered through my experience as a lucky guy from Wisconsin, from the US, that ended up here and built a life beginning in my 30, pretty much. And is still building and making things better, every month, every year, I hope. I feel great about my life, but I also recognize I've been doing kind of the same things for 15 years, building brick by brick by brick. Maybe it hasn't been an amazing, opening a business and franchising and blowing up on social media, but it's my life. I'm enjoying it, and I've found a way to make it rich, and found the perspectives that allow me to feel good and really make contributions to, my life and family and friends around me. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video, and feel free to connect. Throw me some questions if you want to hear me talk about something else in one of these videos for the next few months, and I'll try and fit it in. I'm Jesse, and thank you.